Wow, it is a long time coming. We are finally out here doing it, kicking off season 3 with a bang. We are at Georgia High Falls State Park. Long anticipated trip to this park. I got more for you guys right after the intro. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As I mentioned right before the intro, we are in Georgia. This is where we're going to kick off season number 3. Our first stop is a park that I've been trying to get out here for about almost 2 years now, almost in season number 1. It wasn't by chance. I didn't just pull this park out of the books. This was a park that was highlighted by a gentleman that I follow on YouTube. His name is Jerry. He runs I Love RV Life. It was a park that he highlighted, and ever since then I really wanted to come out here. It is a very small park. The actual falls themselves are right here, right behind me. They are just a few feet away from the actual registration or the main ranger station. Very small. It's only got it actually has 3 trails, but one of them is closed. And it's a park that we've been wanting to get out here. It's our kickoff. Season number 3 is underway. And we're going to check out this park, and we're going to share with you guys everything that it has to offer. As I mentioned, it's a pretty small park as far as square or the acreage is concerned, but it does have quite a bit of things to do here. As you can see here, it's got the ability to rent paddle boats. You can rent these little sit-down boats. I think they're motorized. I don't know what they are. Pretty interesting. You can rent some kayaks, canoes, and you can enjoy the lake here. This lake here connects to the Tualaga River. I don't know. I have to do a little research on that one to see if I'm pronouncing it right. But it connects to that river, and as you can tell here on the other side of the lake, there's private homes that are adjacent to this lake. It does have a day usage area, which is kind of nice. I don't see a lot of swimming area. You really can't swim in this lake. I don't know really that I'd want to. It's kind of murky, but it is a pretty area. It does have a lot of area as far as the water is concerned. And I will tell you this, there is a lot of camping available here. All right, so I asked one of the park rangers just to clarify. So the river behind me here is called, or is pronounced, Tualaga River. And then as I pan around here behind me, this is High Falls Lake. And like I mentioned, it's a pretty big lake. Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It is another day here in Georgia. We are still at High Falls State Park. Hope you guys enjoyed the video or the footage that I brought you yesterday. Today is another day, and obviously, as you can tell behind me, we are on a trail. I'll get to that in a minute. Today I'm going to emphasize a few things related to not only the state park, but the campgrounds themselves. And sorry, I'm trying to catch my breath here. We're on a hike and we've been away from this for like 6-7 months, so I'm trying to get back into it. So High Falls State Park. Most campers, most travelers, most RV people oftentimes look for campgrounds, or they look for places to stop overnight. They look for easy in and out places, and let's not kid ourselves, inexpensive places. If you're not into the Harvest Host, if you're not into Boondockers Welcome, or if you're not into Walmart parking lots, and you're looking for some amenities, inexpensive, state parks can be a game changer for you. State parks offer those things, and this one is no different. Matter of fact, what makes this park very interesting is its accessibility. We are literally 1.5 miles off of I-75 near Macon, Georgia, more specifically the town of Jackson, or the city of Jackson, Georgia. And it is a very accessible park. The campground itself within the state park is a little tight. I'm not going to lie. The roads are a little tight. But honestly speaking, I will tell you, it's tight simply because when they were designing this park, I think they kept in mind that they wanted to keep the nature, the woodsy area. So basically the road that has been cut in, which is entirely paved, by the way, is kind of narrow. It's kind of narrow, and there's a lot of one-way loops and stuff like that. But but it is very doable. You guys very well know I'm in a 40-foot trailer, or a truck pulling a 40-foot trailer. It was tight, but very doable. We did it with no problem. So as far as accessibility, getting here off the road and the driving around the campground, it is very, very doable. Very, very doable. Now, if you're looking for a one night layover, 2-night layover, and you're just like us, you try to save $1 here and there, state parks is one of our go-to places, and this one does not disappoint. All right, so High Falls State Park. I'm going to give you a little bit of information on the park itself, because you can always go to their website, the Georgia State Parks website, but they don't really give you the bird's eye view that an actual camper can give you. So as I mentioned yesterday, High Falls State Park is relatively small. It's a relatively small park. It actually has a road that runs right through the middle. The road is called High Falls Park Road. It runs right through the middle and basically divides the park into 2 areas. So area number 1, which I'm going to tell you about right now, has the check-in, the registration area, the main ranger station. It has the paddle boats and canoes and kayak rentals. It has the day use area, which encompasses playground for the kids, which I'll show you guys here. Very nice, brand new equipment. And it also has a pool. Now the pool looked a little weathered, but according to the ranger that I spoke to yesterday, it's because during the winter they emptied it out, painted it, and they're just now in the process of filling it back up. So it hasn't even been, it has no chlorine in it or nothing like that, none of the chemicals in it. So therefore it looks a little green, but they're working on it. It looks brand new. Or not brand new. It looks taken care of. So that's the area that encompasses the one side of the park. In that side of the park is also one of the campgrounds. This park, or this state park, has several campground areas. The one on that side of High Falls Park Road is lakeside camping. It's called lakeside camping. Now, lakeside camping is really nice. The title alone says just about everything you need to know. It's camping right along the lakeside. Very pretty. Most of the sites have at least a minimum of view of the lake, as you'll see. Very pretty, very nice. They have 16 RV sites and 6 yurts. Now, the sites are a little different. First of all, they're all 30 amp electric and water. None of the sites here have sewer, but I'll get to that in a minute because it's very interesting. It's very interesting what they have here that we ran into for the first time, and I'll share with you guys a little bit later. So 16 sites, all 30 amp electric and water, and 6 yurts. Now, the sites in this particular side of the park, the campground, lakeside campground, they're all kind of, some of them are really big. Some of them are really big, but, you know, I'll tell you right now, I don't believe that anything larger than a 30-footer, maybe 25, 30-footer, can really maneuver around these sites. They're a little tight. So this one here is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is site 111. See it right there. This is plenty long for a 40-foot trailer, and my truck wouldn't be a problem parked here or parking here at all. The only problem that I foresee is, if you notice as I back up, it is a 45-degree turn. It's not angled. It is a straight up, 90-degree turn. And you have a culvert here, which is about 3 feet deep. Can't tell on video, but if you fall in there with your back tire or your front tire, you're in big trouble. You have the same on this side. Okay, you have the same on this side, and more importantly, directly across, which is where the front of your truck, if you're pulling a trailer or you're pulling a fifth wheel, the front of your truck is going to come. This is about a 2.5, 3 foot drop. There you go. You can tell by that. So again, it is a beautiful site. It backs up to the lake. However, there's no angle to it. Getting in there with a 40-foot trailer or anything, like I mentioned, anything, you know, bigger than a 25, 30-footer is probably going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible. Now, like you saw, it could get quite difficult. If you're coming in here with a trailer or a Class A towing with a tow attached, it could be quite difficult. Now, moving right along to the yurts. There are 6 of them here in Lakeside Campground. Really cool. I was kind of hoping to get inside and bring you guys a little footage of what they look like inside. I couldn't, but I think I mentioned it yesterday's video, or yesterday's clip. I mentioned that there's a gentleman that I follow by the name of Jerry from I Love RV Life. He actually has his video regarding High Falls State Park, and I believe he does have some footage of the yurts inside. There are no amenities inside the yurts, but right across, and I might as well touch on that now, right across from the yurts is a comfort station, which this state park has numerous comfort stations throughout both of the campgrounds and the day use areas, both campground areas and the day use areas. While I'm on the topic of comfort stations, we have often stayed at campgrounds and many a state park, but we've never really had the necessity at any one of those to use the comfort stations. I mean, we have a fifth wheel. We're pretty much self-contained. You know, we have our own showers, toilets. We have everything within our own campground or camper. So there's really never been a necessity to have to use the amenities offered at the campgrounds. This one in particular, I booked it. It's electric and water, the site that we're at. Electric and water and no sewer. So because of that, and in order to give Myrna a little bit more tank space, I have opted for the first time ever to utilize the comfort stations. I utilize the comfort stations for showering. This is the first in 2.5 years that we've been doing this. This is the first time that I've actually used the showers at any state park or any campground for that matter. And I will tell you this, I have been pleasantly surprised. Although a little older, the facilities are a little older, very well kept, very clean, hot water. I have not been disappointed at all. So here's a different angle of the actual falls themselves. As you can see off in the distance, High Falls Trail, that's the one that's closed, unfortunately. Moving right along, we're going to get to the other side of the state park, the other side of High Falls Park Road, which is where you find the camping area that we're at right now. That camping area, by the way, to access it, it is directly across from the registration office or the ranger station, and it has its own private road. At the entrance to that private road, or I should say at the beginning of that private road, there is a Dollar General store conveniently located. It's awesome because anything that you may have forgotten or anything that you may need is right there. It's a short walk, even a faster drive. But that little private road, if you take that private road, only two things. You're only going to find two things at the end of that. Camping, or the one area that has the old power mill, and fishing, access to fishing along the Taulaga River. By the way, this area, which is where we're at again, I mentioned, is called Riverside Camping. Okay? Riverside Camping has gate that you need a code to enter. So the gate is closed all day. You need if you're coming in or out, you need a pass, a gate codes pass to get in, which is kind of cool because you don't have just random people driving through the campground. Riverside Campground is comprised of 4 camping areas. You have Loop A, B, C, and D. Now A and B are relatively small. Each has maybe 6 to 10 campsites. Loop C is the biggest. Okay. And then Loop D, which is the one that we're at, is a little smaller than Loop C, but it contains, or it has roughly all the pull-through sites that comprise all 4 of the loops. There are 89 sites. We're in site 84. There are 89 sites that comprise all of the loops. And within those 89 sites, there are 19 pull-through sites. Now you have standard, and then you have premium sites. Most of the premium sites are in Loop D, although there are a few premium sites in C, I believe. The difference is very simple. The standard sites are 30 amp and the premium sites are 50 amp. Now, they all have water and electric, but none of them have sewer. However, this park, which was a first for us in using the comfort stations, there is another first that we've never really seen at any of the state parks that we've been to. So this state park does not have sewer hookup, but what they do have, which is very convenient, every 2 to 3 sites on the ground, they have these gray water dump stations. Okay, very convenient, extremely convenient, especially if you're like us, that we carry a tote or we carry a honey wagon with us. Very, very convenient to just get your, collect your gray water and then dump it at these stations. Now, having said that, it brings up a very interesting topic, a topic that has been discussed over and over by campers throughout: the dumping of gray water onto the ground. I kind of looked at these dump stations, these gray water dump stations. They appear to be just a grate, like I showed you here, just a grate on the ground, basically delineating a specific area for you to dump your gray water, but looks to me like it's going straight to the ground. I'm going to add one more thing here that I did this morning just to make sure, because I'm really not too keen on getting yelled at. There was a DNR ranger driving around, and I specifically stopped him and asked him about these grates on the ground. And he basically told me flat out, yep, that's for your gray water. Feel free to dump there as much as you want. Very interesting. So, like I said, literally about 20 feet away from our camper is this grate right here in the ground. Very simple. Every morning I just get up, take 5 minutes, walk over there, dump our gray, and away we go. So, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. All right. That's enough poop talk. Or I should say, actually, we're talking about gray water. I haven't even touched on the poop yet. There are 2 dump stations. Technically, it's one dump station with two areas. They're located in the same. They are here right between Loop C, or actually they are in Loop C, conveniently located so that you can dump on your way out. The problem with that is that station is only in Loop C. So if you're staying at Lakeside Campground, you actually have to come over here to Loop C to dump. Nonetheless, super, super easy. Super easy. So now that's enough poop talk. Let's talk about the trails, which we happen to be on one right now, and that'll be it. So the trails, there are 3 trails, technically. One of them is called High Falls Trail, which is 1.5 miles. That trail is closed. I don't know why. I think they're renovating some steps or something like that. Nonetheless, trail's closed. Then there's another trail, which is called Historical Trail, which is really not a trail. It's a linear trail. It's a 1/2 mile. It leads you from the main ranger station to the trail that we're on right now, which is Tranquility Trail. Tranquility Trail is the one that we're on right now. It's 2.5 miles. It is a loop. It has 2 access points. One of the access points is right by the dump station in Loop C. And the other access point is right where that fishing area off of the private road. So, like I mentioned, 2.5 miles. There are different types of trails. This is basically, for lack of a better word, just a nature walk. It's a nature walk, although I left it for last to talk about it because one of the things that we enjoy the most, and we enjoyed it in season 1 and 2, was hiking. A lot of people do it for exercise. Some do it just for nature watching or bird watching or walking through the woods. We tend to do it for both reasons, but we thoroughly enjoy it. And it had been about 6 months ever since we got home. We had a bunch of issues that you guys are very well aware of if you follow the channel. And hiking was just not something we could do back home. So we were excited to get out here. Although this state park is small and it only has these couple of trails, there was no way that we were going to come here and not do the trail that we're on right now. So that's it. That's it. That's all I got for today. That's all I got on the campgrounds. If I discover or find anything else interesting that I feel I should bring to you, I'll do that. So good morning, guys. It is another day here in High Falls State Park in Georgia. Actually, it's our last day. Tomorrow we are going to be hitting the road and heading to another destination, en route to our appointment in Goshen, Indiana. I thought about it yesterday and I was thinking if I had forgotten anything. I really didn't forget anything except for two little things that I wanted to bring up to you guys. So if you are considering High Falls State Park for a overnight stay or passing through, talk about the sites real quick. If you are under 30 feet, I would highly recommend the lakeside camping. 30 amp, beautiful scenery. You're right on the lake, very cool. Just keep in mind, it might be a little busy with day use people. If you are a larger unit, 35, 40 feet, I highly recommend Loop D. Loop D here where we're at right now. They have very large pull-throughs. You could fit with no problem. You don't even have to unhook your tote if you're a Class A, or if you're a Class A and you have a big trailer attached, you don't even have to unhook it. We are currently in site number 84, which is good. However, there is a better site. I highly recommend site number 82. 82 is shaded all day. We are good after about 1:30 in the afternoon. After 1:30, we are in the shade the rest of the day, but in the morning, we're getting hit in site 84. 82 is the best site. That's what I got for you guys. So again, I give High Falls State Park a thumbs up. Tomorrow, we are off to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like. Maybe even consider subscribing and share with your friends. Until next one, peace.